considering to purchase a new construction home over an existing home, an older home, could be a very smart move for a lot of you. If you're somebody that's looking to purchase a new construction home, or maybe you've been thinking about it, but you're just not quite certain yet, this video is for you because I'm going to cover all the major pros and cons of considering a new construction home. If you're new to my channel, I'm Katrin.pfitzenreiter. I'm a real estate agent in Sarasota County and Manatee County, and I work both on new construction homes and existing homes. And now we're going to get into this video. Number one is you get to design the house the way you envision it. Of course, there's some limitations, and that is how many customization choices you get. If you go with a tract builder, and here think D.R. Horton or Lennar, you're not going to get as many choices. You may just get 3 or 4 floor plans you can choose from, a few design upgrade choices inside. But once you get into semi-custom and custom, the more customization choices you get. But the key takeaway here is you get to really kind of design it the way you envision it, depending on which builder you work with. If you're buying an existing home, then yeah, you either love it and you take it, or you don't like it, you don't buy it, or maybe you love it enough to make renovations to it. But again, renovation costs have really gone through the roof. It's not always going to hold true, but way more so than in the past. I do believe that new construction homes, where in the past they were absolutely more expensive than an existing home, that's not the case anymore if you bring the existing home up to the level of the new construction home when it comes to the interior finishes, new roofs, hurricane-proof windows, and so forth. I actually just went through my own home renovation. I've gotten new hurricane-proof windows in. It's been a very expensive process for me. Some builders that I know of will give you hurricane-proof windows in a standard package. Number 2 is it's a brand new house. It's kind of an obvious also. You've got a new roof, new AC, if there's a pool, it's a new pool, everything is brand new. And so it's less likely that you're going to have to make repairs in the first few years, or 5 or 10 years even. And if you do, a lot of these communities will offer you a warranty, which I'll get to in a moment. But with an existing home, especially one from the 1990s or maybe 2000, there's always something that seems to be needing repair. So with a new construction home, it is far less likely that you're going to have to worry about making adjustments, repair work in your house, because it's going to take some time for things to wear down in the home. And with that said, here in Florida, we have very strict building codes, which change periodically. If you buy a new construction home, you know it's going to be up to the latest code. And we all worry about hurricanes, right? Especially if you're closer to the coast. So there's peace of mind when it comes to knowing that your house is built to the latest code. And with new construction homes, the windows either have to be hurricane proof or they'll have to come with shutters. So there's extra protection against hurricanes. So homes tend to be more energy efficient. Some of it has to do with the fact that everything is brand new. Got new windows, new trims. Things are going to be very well insulated inside of the house. There are going to be some energy savings that comes with that. Just think about how hot it gets here in the summertime. Your AC is going to be running probably 10 months out of the year. If the house is very well insulated, the AC unit isn't going to be working as hard. Number 3 is new construction homes come with warranties. A lot of the warranties are very similar to each other from builder to builder. I'm going to give you one example. Neal Communities is a local builder in Southwest Florida. They offer a 1-year warranty, which covers defects in material and workmanship, a 2-year coverage, which covers plumbing, electric, and other mechanical systems, filling parts or units. And then there's the 10-year coverage that covers the integrity of the home itself. And this is very similar to a lot of the other builders that we have in the Southwest Florida region. The house is going to be under some kind of a warranty. And so if there's something that goes wrong with the house, especially in the first few years, you know that the warranty covers it. And so it's just an extra layer of peace of mind. Number 4 is that a lot of these new construction communities are super amenities rich. Just think about Lakewood Ranch. All of these different communities are mostly gated and very amenities rich. You'll typically find a clubhouse with a fitness center, 1 pool or 2 pools or 3 pools even, tennis courts, pickleball courts. So truly what people think of resort style living is what you find in these new construction communities. And so if you're somebody that is coming from New York, New Jersey, wherever, California, a lot of you are actually looking for that type of lifestyle where you live in a community and you're able to take part in all these amenities. It's relaxing, it's de-stressing. That's what you will get in new construction communities. Some of the older communities that we have, for example, in Sarasota, tend to be closer to the downtown area and the beaches, but they lack the amenities that you get in the new construction communities. And a lot of people I'm working with, especially, that's what they're gravitating toward. And so if you're somebody that loves to play tennis or pickleball and you want to meet like-minded people that live kind of in the same community as you do, because you feel like, well, if I already have something in common with you, we're playing pickleball together, we live in the same community, it's much more likely that we're going to become friendly neighbors to each other. Maybe I'll have you over for a glass of wine. And so a lot of people are actually looking for that type of lifestyle where they're around people who are very similar to them with shared activities and that live in the same community, for that type of friendship that can be nurtured when you're living closer together. I hear this quite often where people are choosing new construction because they want to be able to move into a community because they themselves are coming from the outside, right? They're coming from out of state a lot of times, or maybe they're coming from a faraway city in Florida and they don't really know anybody in Sarasota, for example. They're choosing new construction because they feel like, well, a lot of people are going to be in the same boat. A lot of people don't know anybody in the community because they're new, moving into that new construction community. The DNA hasn't been really shaped out in that new construction community. People haven't formed their friendships yet. And that is a value proposition for a lot of people who are especially moving from out of state, I feel like. And so, yeah, I hear it often that it's easy to make friends in a new construction community because everybody is so open to meeting each other, to wanting to become friends. And now let's talk about the negative, the cons. There certainly are some cons with new construction that I want you to be aware of. The first one is if you're purchasing a lot and you're building your home and you're making a lot of design upgrade choices. Say you're going with a semi-luxury builder. First you pick your lot, and then eventually you'll have to go through the design stage where you'll literally walk into the design center and you'll pick all the interior finishes, because usually when you go into the model, what you see are upgrades. So if you want your home to look what the model does, even if you just want to get there halfway, you're going to make design choices in the design center. Some builders will just give you a few hours in design center, and you literally in those hours will have to make all your design choices. All the interior finishes will have to be picked from the design center. Now some builders are a little bit more gracious and they've given my customers 2 days. So it really depends on the builder, but the point is you're going to go into the design center and you'll see all these different cabinet choices, different flooring choices, accessories for the inside of the house, hardware, and you have to pick it all within that time period. Now imagine it's very hard to understand how the inside of the house is going to look like from just picking these different pieces. So you're going to have to be somebody that's very conceptual, that can visualize it in your head, because you don't really have much to go by. Now I always tell my customers, go into the model center, have your inspiration from there, because that way you can carry some of that over into the choices that you're making in the design center. But still, it can be very stressful on customers. First of all, having just a few hours or maybe just a day to make these design choices and then not really understanding how it's all coming together. Now, one way to avoid this entire experience with the design center is to purchase a home that's move-in ready, also known as a spec home. And you'll find plenty of those in new construction communities. Spec homes are a great option. You don't have to worry about the design center making all these options. You already see what the product looks like. Now with new construction homes, if you're picking a lot, you're building your home, that whole timeline can be 8 to 10 months, 12 months, or even longer. Once you go from a tract builder such as D.R. Horton or Lennar, they're very quick at building because they only give you a few options and they order in bulk. But once you go from tract builders to semi-custom to custom, that timeline can be much longer. So think anywhere from 9 months for a track builder to over a year for a semi-custom builder. Once you get into custom, that can be even longer. And so if you're somebody that is looking to purchase right away, you want to move in right away. Now, one of the ways to avoid the timeline is to find a spec home. Once again, a move-in ready home. Sometimes there's plenty of those out there. You just want to be able to find one that's in the community that you enjoy wanting to live in, and a spec home that has the interior finishes that you can kind of live with. New construction homes typically sit on much smaller lots, and that's because builders, well, first of all, are trying to squeeze as much profitability out of these communities as they can. And so if they're able to fit more homes in a community, the more they're going to be able to sell, right? But also they're focusing much more on the amenities, right? So they're building out big amenities, tennis courts, clubhouses. I mean, that takes a lot of space, and it's being taken away from the lot size of the homes. Where if you're looking for an existing home in an older community, you usually get much more land around your home. And so I always tell people, you know what, when you're in Sarasota, for example, go to a new construction home, go to an older home, and see what you like better. You know, some people think they're going to love new construction, and then they're actually in the community, they're looking out the window. In some cases, once you look out the window, you can essentially say hi to your neighbor because the next house is really close. With some of the older communities, there's a little bit more privacy that comes with that. So the lot size could be a con for many of you. Number 4 is the DNA of a new construction community hasn't really been established yet, and that's because people are still moving in, so you have no idea what the community is going to feel like because it's still being built out. You don't really know the makeup of the community when it comes to demographics because people are still buying and moving in. And so with an existing community, you can really feel the DNA, the essence of the community, because the community is completely established. You drive around, you have a feel for who lives there, you have a feel of how people interact in that community. With a new construction community, people who are moving in, who just moved in, they're still learning, for example, all the rules and the regulations. In many cases, I've seen that the HOA had to really reinforce those rules and regulations because people are new to the community. They just don't know any better. And so there's a little bit of a growing pain when it comes to a new community that's being established, but it's also, from a pro's perspective, an opportunity to help shape that DNA. And then lastly, a lot of these new construction communities are going to be built on the edges of a town or a city. So further away from the main attractions or from the city center, and that's because the city center and really close by communities, they've already been in place for a long time. Where do you go to build new construction communities? Where you can find land, and that typically is going to be further away from kind of the center of town. Example, Sarasota. Most of the new construction communities are going to be further away from the beaches, further away from downtown Sarasota, so east of Highway 75. That's also where Lakewood Ranch is. Your decision isn't just going to be based on, do I want new construction or an older home? It's really going to be based on how close you foresee yourself being to all these different amenities outside of a community that you would actually take advantage of. A lot of the folks that are deciding to move to Lakewood Ranch, for example, are people that don't foresee themselves utilizing the beach access all that much, maybe once a week, maybe once a month, and you don't mind driving 45 minutes. I myself know that if I have to drive 45 minutes to the beach, I probably would never go. And I love my sunset walks. I'm 10 minutes away. And so deciding between new construction and an existing home isn't just going to be based on the fact that you want a brand new home. It's also, I think, going to be contingent upon how you foresee yourself living your life. Come and explore the area you're interested in and give yourself a chance to get to know all major options that are available to you. And that way you're getting insights into the opportunities and you're able to make the best decisions for you that's going to enable you to be happy living in the place of your choice for a long time. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, like this video. It does help out the video's performance. And if you're somebody that's interested in Florida information, real estate, maybe subscribe to this channel if you haven't thus far. If you're interested in new construction communities, Welland Park, Lakewood Ranch, in Bradenton Parish. I would love to support you. I've supported many customers through their journey. Call me and email me anytime, and if you reach out to me, you're going to be partnering up directly with me. I'm going to be working with you and supporting you. Thank you so much for watching today, you guys. I really, really appreciate it. Take care.